Hi, I'm Davis. I'm descended from Scottish and German settlers, and I'm on Treaty 1 territory right now, which is the lands of the Anishinaabe, Dakota Cree, Oji Cree, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation.
Hello, I'm Deanna. I'm a second generation Korean Canadian settler, currently based out of Tekaronto, home of the ancestral homelands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Wendat, Mississaugas of the Credit, and many nations who are both recorded and unrecorded. I'm super thrilled to be gathered here virtually with Davis and all of you watching from home right now, trapped at home. Um, and it's very humbling to be able to gather knowledge and share knowledge in these times. And these lands in particular were the meeting place for many people and were formed under the dish with one spoon wampum belt covenant. Yeah.
So, Deanna, I've been told that I should ask you a question that then we can talk about a little bit. So,
Hmm.
the question I'm gonna pose for us to talk about is, uh, what do you think the future of sound design should be?
Oh gosh.
What would you like to see down the road?
I would love to see sound a burst of light and color in sound, whatever that means. How we conceptualize sound in space, how we relate to sound, whether you are a hearing person, a deaf person, how we interact with sound across different disciplines and forms of sound, ways of communication and language and music, and how we define any of those things. So I know that's not a super specific way, but I'm just really excited by a lot of the opportunities that we're able to do with sound, both aided by technology and the new forms of tech that are always being developed, as well as going back to just the most basic roots of
Hmm.
listening.
Yeah, I love that. I feel very similarly. Like I was thinking about my own question and what I would say to it, and I feel like something I'd really love to see in the future is like for us to like think much more, I don't know, like at once sort of more like encompassingly, but more simply about sound. Like
Hmm.
sound in theater is just like anything that's making vibration and
Hmm.
causing the air to move. And
Hmm.
I think it'd be really wonderful if we started to like take the sounds that actors made like much more seriously and much more musically
Hmm.
than we often do, and both as sound designers, but also just as directors, sort of thinking in a more like total way about what a sound score could be.
Absolutely. That reminds me a lot of a mentor of mine, Richard Lee, who once said to me after rehearsal, he's also a sound designer, performer, and fight director, and he said, uh, all the answers are in the room, which was something I think about a lot and think about what it means to be present
Mm.
as a designer for that reason. Um, Whether you're in the room or attending on Zoom or even in a production meeting, what that means to be fully witnessing what's going on and absorbing that in every capacity.
Yeah.
And if you've experienced something similar in your own process,
Oh, did you say have I?
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think I really like knowing like what sounds the set's gonna make and what sound the actors are gonna make and just like what all those sounds are and sort of like the sound of the world that is being conjured by the play, whether that's like abstract or really concrete. And I feel like once you know those things, it just makes design so much clearer
Mhm.
and so much simpler.
Has being in the midst of a global pandemic changed the way that you listen to the world?
Hmm. Um, I mean, I think before the pandemic, I was spending a lot of time at home. So in some ways it hasn't, but I think that now that I'm spending even more time at home, like just being more attuned to like the sounds that are around you every day or around me every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've just had a lot more time on my hands. And so you sort of like realize the sounds that are already there,
Mm-hmm.
not just sort of like the special ones that you turn on when you put on the radio or listen to a song or something, but
Mm-hmm.
like everything that's happening already.
Absolutely. Uh, it reminds me of this podcast I was listening to and got me thinking about the unintended consequences of sound.
Mm,
Um, this a wildlife audio recordist who's spent many years um, taking recordings of ecosystems.
mm,
Um, what reported this study that they found with frogs in this one specific marsh that was located underneath a common flight path. And once uh, normally when the airways are in full circulation, the frogs would normally have this chorus that would get drowned out by a plane going overhead, and
mm.
then their population started dropping because they were easily picked off one by predators,
Oh,
because they could no longer sing in chorus with one another. But then when the flights were canceled, their population started rebounding back because they were able to cohabitate in the natural environment, the acoustic realm that they were used to inhabiting as part of their ecological niche. So, but no one would have ever planned or predicted or understood those consequences
yeah.
otherwise.
Oh my God, like sonic justice.
Yes, yes, it's a thing.
That's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for talking with me today and for being my mentor. I really, really appreciate it, and I've learned so much. And yeah, thank you so much, Deanna.
Thank you.